Ari, one of the biggest decisions, probably not the biggest one, but an important one, when you are in this process of implementing an agile transformation with a waterfall company, is the framework that you are going to pick, right? There are many agile coaches looking at us looking at this recording or video, and they are wondering, well, I don't know exactly what criteria or how to pick Scrum versus Kanban versus start implementing Spotify or scale agile at scale or Scrum at scale, or how do you pick or how do you choose? What are the criteria to select the framework?
Uh, okay, so for me, it's very important that, first of all, I work agnostic, right?
Mhm.
I do not believe, because I've never seen it working, exclusively one framework implementation and thinking then the miracle happens. It's not true. So you can see, is this visible for the people, right? So can you,
Yeah,
okay, so let me make a drawing. So
cool.
at one moment in time, I started, analyzing what is it that we did when we wrote the manifesto, right? And it's like this, right? When we wrote the manifesto, you can say that I know my full focus was on the value, and the value was there because I have been working in projects where governmental public money was wasted, like millions, and it just upset me. That was my driver to start working differently. But if you look at Scrum, I don't know. I think it was Jeff Sutherland who said, Scrum is based on lean. Lean is about efficiency in the car manufacturing industry, and Scrum is about efficiency in the software manufacturing industry. So efficiency. And if you talk to James Grenning, he is in the quality. He just wants to avoid bugs. And the reason we do this is, if you have bugs, you need to do rework, so you have a delay. If you're efficient, you waste time here, so you have a delay. If you deliver the wrong functionality, you have rework, you have a delay, and the delay is something that we cannot allow ourselves anymore.
Mhm.
Now, then you have, in terms of the people working, you have people that focus on the individual, the typical agile team, or large groups, right? Large group was my largest one was around 90 people that I work with. Parallel teams working on one backlog. If you look at this, then you can say, okay, James James Grenning, TDD, right? Extreme programming also here, Scrum here. I think I can say that FDD is here, but John will correct me if I'm wrong. We have Crystal from Alistair, I think, here. We have Adaptive from Jim Highsmith here. We have DSDM that I represented here. So you can see there are different, let's say, methodologies that will help you out. Even, I never work without principles of lean and Kanban.
Mhm.
And now you can say, okay, if you look at this is agile. So you have the concept of agile, you have the methodologies, and every methodology has practices. And practices is that's what you do on a daily basis. The practice is what you do on a daily basis. The practice is what people in the teams do when it comes to things like visual management, when it comes to applying WIP limits, when it comes to the daily, when it comes to the retro, when it comes to the heartbeat. Those are practices, right? And I think every team, this is the body of knowledge that we talk about. For example, for agile coaches, scrum masters, because they're also sort of coaching, right? And the moment that you do a retrospective and a problem shows up, and you never know where the problem will be, you have to see, okay, where are we? What is it that we were late. Okay, what's going on? Oh, we had a unhappy client delivering the wrong. Oh, right. Oh, we had a lot of bugs. Oh, right. Then I know, okay. So the client that asked me, Ari, I'm a software manufacturer. My products are so many bugs that I only get to the incidents. I don't get to the new work. My clients are running away. My number of incidents has to go down by 50%. And then I said, okay, in the first 6 months of the agile transformation in your teams, we will focus dramatically on extreme programming and TDD. And that means that so by the time that we left, less than a year, they were already down by 30% on the bugs, 30% bugs less. Now you know that by applying real agile in your transformation, it's not about implementing a framework. That's what I keep on saying, because agile is continuously improving. So it means that tomorrow you might identify a new agile practice that nobody knew before, and it will help your teams. And it's not written down in a book. So now you can't use it? Oh, come on. That's bollocks, right? This is your body of knowledge. That's where you need to go. And by the way, Hector, if you ever invent an agile practices that's helping you and your teams, can I ask you to go on stage on conferences and talk about it like we do?
Yeah, of course.
That's how agile is. So I always say, you visit agnosticagile.org. Just read. And then you can have an idea about how it works. On Mighty, I will invite you for Mighty Networks. It's an app where we have an agnostic agile community, and we have people with all kinds of certifications just trying to help each other out. We're close to 1,000 people now. It's a really nice community and growing. I will invite you on your email address that I have here, and then you can just find out more. So identifying on a framework, because that was your question, right? When I define my roadmap, it's like defining a product backlog. You define a transformation backlog, right? The roadmap of transformation. And I know it will be subject to change, but that client of mine said, the number of incidents has to go down by 50%. I know that in the initial steps in transformation, there needs to be a lot of work done in this area. And then I had another client that said, Ari, I need the efficiency. I'm a tech company. I want to save time, and I want to use that time for innovation. I said, okay, so now I know that I'm doing a lot here, right, in the efficiency area, etc., etc.
Got it.
And that's in the initial transformation. And then after a while, Hector, you're an agile coach yourself, then teams will define what they need, and they will move forward, right?
Of course.
Based on the needs.
Yeah, I totally agree. And this is part of probably how Spotify, the Spotify model appeared, right? But instead of all the other companies applying the Spotify model, probably they should create their own models, right? There should be a Kellogg model, a Volkswagen model, right? So applying the practices that you mentioned, right? This is what I'm getting, right?
I think it was Hendrik Nieberg himself, and he did Spotify, right? The transformation. He said, there is no Spotify model. This is how it works for Spotify. You have to find your own way.
Exactly.
And the operating model is never the same. And it hurts me when I see consultancy firms spending millions of client money on defining an operating model, which is basically a copy of Spotify that you can and I can identify in 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And it's not going to help. Copying doesn't work. You have to find your own way. The real benefits of agile working comes in that moment where you fine-tune your way of working, and not even it's exactly the same within every team. No. Teams have their own dynamics.
Yes. Okay. Thanks for sharing.